had my moment.
All right. Currently, you attend OCC, and before that, attended Fountain Valley High School. While you were enrolled in school, was there any inclusion of LGBTQ plus topics in your curriculum?
No.
Okay. How do you think it could potentially affect others' understanding of diversity and inclusion?
Is that it?
Because this is like a follow-up.
Oh.
Okay. I'll redo that. Okay. How do you think that could potentially affect others' understanding of diversity and inclusion?
I feel like a lot of people will not be aware. Like, okay, hold up. I need to think this up.
Okay.
Hold up. How do you think it could potentially affect others' understanding of diversity and inclusion? I feel like the lack of education on such topics would lead to even more diversity. I mean, fuck. Hold up.
Ignorance.
Ignorance. I feel like the lacking of education in those specific topics would probably lead to a lot of ignorance or a lot of like confusion and maybe even more mistreatment than we have currently. I feel like it doesn't have to be in your face type of deal, but I feel that if we were to educate people more in a professional way, I don't know how to describe it. How do I describe this? Okay.
Got it, bro. I believe.
Thank you. Yep. I feel like the lacking of specific education on this type of topic might lead to a lot more ignorance and a lot more mistreatment towards those who might be associated with the LGBTQ plus community. Like, not a lot of information is handed out unless you are friends or you're friends of friends with people that belong in the community. It's kind of like, if you're not friends of anyone, you're just left in the dark, and people just don't like different things. So typically they'll just hate on those that are in the community. Thank you.
How'd you like that one? That was pretty good. Adding on to your experience, have you encountered any challenges or resistance to LGBTQ plus inclusion in your school's curriculum? If not, do you know of any instances where other students are facing similar problems?
For me personally, during my school experience, probably not. LGBTQ plus is generally not talked about whatsoever, unless the teacher will go out of their way to talk about it, and I applaud them for that. But in the school's curriculum itself, no. And in terms of, do I know any other instances? I know that Florida has the ban gay law going on, where they're banning the usage of any LGBTQ plus terms or any inclusions to their curriculum, so that let me think about this. You can cut this, right?
Yeah, I can cut
okay.
it. Yeah. And just paste it together.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just know that that's going on in Florida right now, and that's kind of tough because I believe that it'll just lead to further confusion, further, I want to say segregation, but that's not the word. I know that the ban gay law in Florida is going to definitely lead to more ignorance, a lot more mistreatment possibly, because again, with my past point, people do not like things that they are not educated on. They do not like different things. So I think it'll definitely cause a lot of problems over there. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about introducing LGBTQ plus topics at a younger age? Do you think it can impact students in a positive way, such as understanding of diversity and acceptance? Or do you think it could turn out negatively? If so, further elaborate your thoughts on that.
My thoughts on that would be, I believe that it could purely hold up. My thoughts on that would most likely be LGBTQ topics at a younger age could definitely help with a lot of the mistreatment that LGBTQ kids might be facing as they grow up. I think it's very important to educate people on what they don't know about so they can be more comfortable with dealing so they can be more comfortable with dealing with certain types of people as they grow up. I think that actually that's kind of it. I guess you can cut off at that.
Okay.
And then do you think it could turn out negatively?
Yeah. Possibly?
I don't think so.
No?
I can't imagine that being negative.
There's a lot of people that they talk about introducing at a earlier age would also technically cause confusion for those kids because they would turn out gay or something. That's what just people say. What are your thoughts on that generally?
Oh, I mean when you see a girl and you like a girl, you go like, I like that girl. And then if you see a guy and you like that guy, then you go, I like that guy. I feel like kids, in that way, it's very simple for them. And the more confusing things kind of happen as they grow up. Like, as a kid, for me, I thought I only liked girls. So I was like, yeah, I don't really care about this LGBTQ stuff. I didn't even know what it was at the time. But then as I was growing up, I found out, like, more of my feelings in, like, middle school or around that time for, like, a guy. And I was like, oh, maybe I should do some more education on this. And as a little kid, I wasn't really able to educate myself very well. So I ended up just burying that very deep inside and didn't really deal with that until like high school, where I became friends with a lot more LGBTQ plus people, and then I got to learn way more, and I was able to more confidently identify myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was good. As a manager of a cafe, how do you feel about the numerous people being fired due to their sexual orientation?
I think it's definitely unfair. I feel like people's sexual orientation should have nothing to do with how capable they are at their job. As a manager of a cafe, I cannot see how someone's sexual orientation is going to stop them from taking orders, making drinks, or restocking toppings. I feel like sexual orientation should be completely out of the conversation.
According to those people that like fired others, they claim that they feel uncomfortable around them. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's just a case of not educating yourself or not having friends of LGBTQ plus. I mean, I understand that you would feel uncomfortable because it's an unknown situation. But at the same time, once you really get to know those people, they're just people. Like, my first time meeting a trans person or a non-binary person was pretty interesting. At first, I didn't understand the whole pronouns thing, but as you talk to them and get to know them more, they educate you, and it gets easier and easier. What's up?
Are you filming?
Yeah.
MBA.
I mean, that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's good. This is Dimitri Nguyen. This interview took place in Yellow Goose Cafe. Start time at 6:30 p.m. on March 29th, 2024. People of Pride are currently being subjugated to discrimination due to anti-LGBTQ plus laws. I'm conducting this interview to shine more light towards the subject and to show others that we are all just normal people with different preferences. I've known them as one of the biggest advocates for the LGBTQ plus community because they have gone through school and life being an open member of the community makes them a perfect candidate for this interview. I've known Dimitri for around 4 years now, and as one of my first friends who was a part of the community, he created a very safe and judge-free space, allowing me to be comfortable with who I was. I am doing this interview to dive deeper into the topic of the LGBTQ plus discrimination against the law, specifically how it affects their students. Dimitri, did you want to tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, I'm Dimitri. I'm the manager of a cafe. I've been out bisexual for a lot of years. I think around, 7th grade. So I'm coming on 2 years in college, 4 years high school, and around 2 years. So damn, that's kind of a long time. But I've been out for a very long time, and around all those years, I've been through a lot of positivity, a lot of negativity. It's just, what else was there? What else can I describe? It was like, hold up. A lot of positivity, a lot of negativity, and then I go,
If you want, you can like dive a little deeper into those negatives.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot more negative experiences than positive ones. I've been hate crimed out on the street before.
Describe more on that, like a little more. Yeah.
This guy went up to me, called me a
Alright, we can't use that.
You can't use that?
Saying the F slur, like called me the F slur while you're out on the street, I think would be better than saying that.
I have privilege.
I know, but this is a school project, bro.
Okay, fine. I'd say a lot more negative than positive. I've been out on the street and have been called slurs a few times. I've had people like specifically discriminate towards me. A lot of nasty looks in public. And I'm not too open about it in public, but there's some situations where I will be discriminated because of my sexual orientation. My family specifically too. They're not exactly the most progressive bunch of people. So of course there's all this type of hate speech against LGBTQ people that are kind of directed towards me as well. Not the supportive, like, not a lot of support going on in the family department. What else is there? A lot of classic tropes. Being called the F slur by my family. Being, what was it? My family not approving of the clothing I wear. My family not approving of how I present myself. Just the classic things that you're going through when you are a part of the LGBTQ community and the growing pains of it.
And you have like a group of friends that, would you say that they're very supportive of who you are?
I've had a few friend groups that have not been supportive at all, like a lot of really big homophobic friends, and typically the best thing I can do there is just separate myself from those type of people. So I've definitely gone through a lot of negative
just a negative, just continue for that. I can kind of
negative experiences in my life.
Okay, you can talk about the positives too.
No.
Okay, actually,
Should I?
yeah,
Would that help?
like that's fine, because like just extending it would be good.
Okay.
All right, here, let me cut that. What do you think are some things we could do to effectively change the majority of negativity towards the community and the laws that give them their civil rights?
I think just making sure the general public is well educated, or maybe just more used to the fact that LGBTQ community exists. Just making sure everyone is comfortable with having LGBTQ people around them. I feel like just having everyone be more comfortable with the idea of that will definitely lessen the negative actions towards the community. And in terms of the laws to give them civil rights, I believe that everyone has civil rights already, and the people making laws are just taking away some civil rights that gay people would have if they weren't, if they didn't identify as straight. I feel like just letting everyone have the same civil rights all around would be great. I feel that there is no need to have a separate civil rights for the LGBTQ community or any demographic for that matter.
Solid. All right.